Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, the podcast for conscious parents, caregivers, and educators who believe tantrums aren't terrible. They are powerful opportunities for connection, growth, and learning during the first 5 years. You'll explore how to use intentional language to raise calm, confident, and deeply connected kids, because the way we talk to kids becomes how they see themselves and engage with the world. Hi, I'm your host, Cara Tyrrell, classroom teacher turned parent educator and teacher trainer. Are you ready to nurture your children's mind, body, and spirit? Welcome, Toddler Tribe. Let's transform the toddler years together. Welcome back, Toddler Tribe. I can't believe it, but we made it. This is the final episode of our 5-part series on the 4 C's of collaborative discipline that will transform the way that you connect with kids, problem solve with them, and completely avoid power struggles. So exciting. So if you're tuning into this episode and you haven't heard any of the previous ones, great time to hit pause, go back and listen to the overview episode, and then the one on connection, the one on intentional communication, and the one on collaboration. Because today we are, I'm not going to say closing the loop, but we are continuing the loop talking about compromise. So when we last left off, many of you were probably thinking, how is there another step? We solved it. They solved it. Together. They collaborated and they had ideas and they agreed on an idea and all good, right? Yes. And, if we just stop there, we waste the teachable moments. So many of you have heard me say that the goal is to transform tantrums into teachable moments. Yeah. I mean, if the tantrum has to happen, then sure, the goal would be to get us all the way here to the teachable moment. But what if we could just avoid the tantrum altogether? I mean, that's even better, right? And that's what we've done here. By using this method that I created, you don't have to have the power struggle to get to the teachable moment. So what do we want to teach? Well, great question. I'm glad you asked. So we started this back in the first C talking about connection. And I shared with you then the 4 C's. No, that's not accurate. My apologies. I shared with you then the core 4 connectors. And that your energy needed to show up to develop a relationship built in honesty, respect, right? Remember these? Yeah. Trust, and that you could talk about all of it. Okay. So with that as your foundation, you have now arrived here where you can start thinking about teaching the core 4 skill sets. And these skill sets are actually the areas that if you prioritize working with your kids in all 4 of them, they're the school readiness criteria. You will raise a kid who walks into the classroom and a teacher goes, ooh, this kid can control his body. Wow, he's aware of his physicality. This is amazing. You will raise a kid who can tap into their own emotions and process them a little bit before seeking help to continue the emotional regulation, right? Okay, so here are the core 4 skill sets that as educators, we jump up and down and do our happy dance when we see a child walk in that has built some skills in all of these areas. Social, emotional, awareness, and processing. What does that mean? Well, we are social creatures, right? Which means we have a lot of feelings. And then the ability to feel our feelings, the ability to regulate those feelings, the ability to put words to them, have a deep emotional vocabulary, and to be able to say things like, I'm really frustrated right now. Ooh, I loved when my preschoolers would say that to me. It opened a conversation based in their current emotional reality. Social emotional skills are right now, when I look around our culture of classrooms and I go to conferences and I teach presentations and keynote, that's what I'm hearing. I don't even care about all the rest of it, Cara. If these kids could just walk into the room, ability to be social in a group and emotionally regulate, that'd be awesome. The rest of it we can work with. Okay, so that has become the priority focus of this. Think of it as a pie, a pizza that's cut into 4 pieces. That's one of them. The second skill is interpersonal dynamics. And that means the ability to have an interaction with another person while managing your emotions. It's actually a lot of work for little people. So socially emotional, interpersonal. There's 2 pieces of our pie. The third is physical body control and awareness. So there's 2 pieces to physicality. One, there's the physiology of our body, right? We want kids who have developed strong physiology skills. What I mean by that is gross motor, fine motor, the actual moving of the muscles, that like everything's developing according to their age well, that they can jump, skip, hop, that they can do the motor things. The other part of physicality is more intentional. I can sit for 5 whole minutes and choose not to use my body to touch somebody else's. Oh, that would be a trick, wouldn't it? I can feel my feelings and choose to use words instead of my body to push, hit, kick. I don't use my body to show my emotions. I use my body to move throughout my day. So far, I've actually laid a lot on you as far as skill sets. The one I haven't said yet is the one that culture, that media teaches as the priority. And it's really not. It's the cognition. The ABCs, 1, 2, 3's, colors, numbers, the ability to recall those, the storage files filled in their brain, knowing that that's orange and that's blue, is so non-essential to becoming a member of a society, that little teeny society called preschool or kindergarten. That organically develops when you have a child who is succeeding in the other 3 skill areas. All right, so those are the core 4 skill sets. Now, you don't have to be an early childhood educator. All right, I need to give you permission. I need to make that statement. It is not your job to start sorting through, well, which one does this attach to? And am I ready to You have an intuition. If you've gone through these other 3 steps so far, and you've connected deeply, and you've intentionally communicated, and you have collaboratively problem solved, and you're ready for the next step, your intuition will take you the rest of the way. I promise. So in this case, we have come up with a solution that Davey's going to ride his dirt bike when Dad gets home at the end of the day, and I'm going to stay later than I planned, so that I can be a participant, an observer, and a cheerleader. Great. The next step is compromise. And in this particular case, it's intentional that I'm saying these things. Davey, we did it, right? There's a celebration in this, and that's what we want to feel. We want to pull back to the energy component. We spent a little time in the thinking. We did, because we have to. But we want to pull back to that energy and how our body responds to when we are successful. We did it. This was really hard. I thought for sure, you thought for sure one thing was going to happen, and I thought for sure another thing was going to happen. And together, we figured out a new solution. You know what we did? We compromised. Now, I want you to call out what that means. A compromise is when you get a little bit of what you want and I get a little bit of what I want, and we make a new plan so they can both happen. Have you ever said this out loud directly to a child? Maybe you have. But most of the people that I work with, this kind of blows their mind. They know what a compromise is. They're like, why would I tell them that? You're teaching. You're teaching. Right? It's beautiful. And I said this to him. A little bit of what you want, a little bit of what I want. And we came up with a new plan to make it happen. And he said, well, I wanted to write it right now. Now listen to how the repeat happens. The processing of the experience in a calm, emotional state is where the learning happens. He said, you did. He's like, and you didn't want me to write it at all. Notice how that was his perception. I said, oh, interesting. You thought I didn't want you to write it at all. No wonder you were so frustrated. I said, what I really wanted was for you to be able to write it when I knew you were going to be safe. And I wasn't trusting myself to keep you safe. Oh. Aha moment. I said, and we figured out a great solution together. Part of yours and part of mine. We compromised that you could do it and I could still watch when you are safe. I said, this is a great deal. Compromising always makes me feel better. I feel really successful right now. Like, we solved a mystery. It was so cool to work together to do this. Now, in that moment, I watched his body stand up straighter. His head got a little taller and the smile came on his face. He's like, yeah, me too. We're awesome. Feel the sense of celebration. You're leaning into the teachable moment. I just talked to you about interpersonal back and forth skill sets. That's exactly what we just taught in this compromise step. I am a human being that wants things. You are a human being that wants things. How does that translate to the classroom? Oh, in about 1,000 ways, because the classrooms are full of tiny people who want things all day long. And their attention spans are about this big, and so they want lots of things at a really quick pace all day long. And they have to learn how to manage those micro interactions that are happening between themselves and their peers and themselves and their educators. When you sit and take the time to do this and model it, and then make sure that you are celebrating and recognizing the feelings of achievement and success and positivity and connection that happen. Notice that word. You feed right back into step one. You re-anchor the connection between the two of you. It's now deeper, it's stronger, and you've leveled up, if you will, that next level of relational trust and respect and honesty. Whew. I love digging deep into this with you. I really, really do. And I want to pull it all the way back to say, yes, you can do this, and you should do this with 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. Will it sound slightly different? Maybe, maybe not. Will they go directly to a tantrum before you have to kind of pull them back and co-regulate fully to do the teaching? That will be likely sometimes until they get the hang of it. Because you are really focused in those years on building that relational trust, those core 4 connectors. And so by investing in using this 4C collaborative discipline model, you are doing exactly that. So throughout this mini-series, you've had an opportunity to kind of take your own parallel journey alongside the learning and the teaching that I'm providing here on the show. You had an opportunity to download a free resource and have the visual, the PDF of the cycle right in front of you. You had an opportunity to buy the mini course, which really is, it's very short, and just allows you to write your own personalized mission statement. So you're on the path you want to be as a parent, as a teacher, as a family member, anyone who's guiding small little lives during their tiny years. And you've had the opportunity to enroll in the 6-week or 6-module course so that you can deepen that transformation. If you are sitting here thinking, well, what I'd really like is for you, Cara, to help me personally. Like, I'm going to tell you about my 2-year-old, and then you're going to help me walk through an example of what this would sound like and this would look like so that I can apply it to my real life and my actual kid. Well, then I do have a few one-on-one coaching slots that I could fit you in. And we can work through that together because I get it. Right? The idea that every kid is so uniquely different and wired differently and has a different nature that they're born with means that there might have to be a little wiggling going on here. And we might have to go back to connection before we get back to communication. I'm happy to walk that journey with you. So if that's the case, then please use the link in the show notes to book a complimentary connection call, and we will explore together what it would look like to put together a one-on-one package for you. Whew. I hope that you have enjoyed this mini-series as much as I have, and I look forward to hearing from all of you in different ways. Wherever you are on your journey is where you're supposed to be, and you know what to do. Take your next best step. And until our next episode, stay mindful and proactive as we transform the toddler years.